So this is the wear ring, and this is after I've needle scaled it, and you can see some of these deeper pits. And this is on the back, so the impeller would sit here and be spinning. I don't know if the tolerance there needs to be tight, but then on the edges, so here's the O-ring here, and you can see some of the stuff is just chipped completely off. That I imagine at one time was a sharp edge or close to a sharp edge. That I think would be okay, would still move water. This is what I'm worried about, is this stuff. And you can see rust has been in it and through it. So when I hit it with a needle scaler, it's just popping it off. Other than that, this is a thick chunk of metal here, so we could probably lose a little bit of this. Some pits probably won't hurt. But then you get in down into here, which is where the steel bolt-on lock collar goes on. Well, a gasket and then the lock collar. So maybe this is where the gasket seals on this. That gets pretty thin. And you can see in here around these areas, if I continue to get this, you know, loose or rust off, it's going to be super thin there. And I'm just worried about pressure from the clamp, just kind of snapping what's left of this off. As you can see, it's porous enough that, you know, rust from out here made it all the way through and made that piece prone to popping off. So this is it. I don't think I got it on film, but when I took the shaft out of the bearing housing, which our bearings are absolute trash, this surface right here, right where the seal, that real bad one on the back side of the pump, where the bearing surface or bearing housing mated to, that one that was just in pieces, it ran on on the surface right here, and it was real bad. And I was thinking, good God, I'm gonna have to machine this down, because it was rotted down maybe a 1/4 inch into it. It was bigger than this surface here. It was this collar way up here. Thought, well, I'll machine it down and then we'll find something we could press on, get a good seal surface. Finally, after looking through that manual, I found that it was not part of the shaft. It looked like it. It's not. It was an actual bearing or a seal sleeve. And I had to machine this thing down, just whittling at it. And I'm talking, you know, something like that, some stuff like this. Bigger. I've been hogging at it for a while, and it finally broke through. And there's still a little collar on there, but I should be able to get it off. It's right here. Pound that off, but saved it. I thought we were gonna have to order a shaft when I saw it, but just have to order some bearings and a couple seals. So good deal. Okay, so yesterday didn't get much on film. Had to get a bunch of other stuff done, but I got a new needle scaler and went to town on this thing, trying to get all the scale rust, all the loose stuff off. And as you can see, it's starting to pit or take just chunks off. And this is where your seal and your lock collar go. So that's on that side. This side that was pretty bad, I mean, it got it off, but it took a lot of material off. There's some big, deep gouges in here. So it looks like this piece is available as a replacement with a new wear ring. So trying to get that ordered up. But then just gonna take a look at this backflow valve or anti-backflow check valve, whatever you want to call it. You know, the brass is fine, but I mean, look at that. Look at that. So I'm gonna take the scaler to it anyway, just to see. I don't know if it's salvageable, but I'm gonna give it 5 minutes and oh man. Okay. So I'm gonna give it a few minutes and see if it might be salvageable. I don't think it needs to 100% seal. I mean, the tank's open. It could, you know, I think it'll be all right, but we'll see. I'm gonna clean it up and be be back with it. Well, that didn't take long. Looks like on this side, I just pulled an O-ring out. But yeah, there's no saving this thing. And I'm not going at it, you know, real rough with the small scaler on a huge lead to the tank. I mean, believe me, I'm not trying to hammer on this thing. I'm just popping the stuff loose. You know, the loose stuff. Like, this is gonna get loud. But you can see, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on this. I mean, that's no pressure, and it's just annihilating it. You know, busted a huge spot off here, and you could see, I mean, it was rusted underneath. This cast is porous. You know, we're gonna have to replace this unit. We've been talking about putting some cathode type protection on this with, you know, some zinc or something in the tank connected by wire to the pump, the housing, and now I'm kind of worried about that at this point. I hope it doesn't look as bad as what was on this and the intake adapter. Yeah, this looked pretty rough, and this looked destroyed inside. The back of the pump housing did not look that bad. I hope it's not. We're gonna find out here in a minute, but that pump may need to come out. It may not be salvageable. We're gonna find out here in the next 15-20 minutes, I imagine. And it sucks because I took a long time getting a seal race that goes on the shaft here, the impeller shaft, and that's what this seal rode on here. That, you know, part of the seal is still here, but when I looked at that shaft, it was just absolutely tore up. You know, found out it was a sleeve, so tried to beat it off, heat it up, slide it off, nothing. It wasn't budging, so keep cutting it down and down and down on the lathe until it finally was just paper thin and it popped and peeled. So I was able to save the shaft. The impeller looks great. The intake adapter is not happy. Everything there I think we can get. As long as this housing isn't, or at least where the seal is, as long as that's not tore up. And then this inner part that I was worried on this side, you know, the other side of the pump, you know, that wouldn't want to scratch that. That's actually serviceable. That comes out, punches out from this side. So we can get that. And like I said, the housing, it doesn't have all that built up scale, or at least not nearly as bad. Tripping over shit. I'm gonna need to clean all this up eventually. That's a new one. So that's where I'm at today. I'm gonna try to clean up the housing a little bit. Got some wire wheels I'm gonna hit it with. I don't know if I'm gonna hit it with the scaler. Might hit it light with the scaler if there's any bad spots. But it's actually kind of a dual. There's two different sections on this volute, outer volute, that I want to say up here. There's a spot where it'll go in behind the cavity, behind this upper floor and go, and then the entrance to the exit on the inner side is like toward the bottom there. I don't believe there's one on the other side. There might be. If it is, it'd be, you know, probably 3 equal areas there. But anyway, I don't want to punch on those with the needle scaler at all. Just want to clean up the loose rust, get the surface rust, whatever I can off of that, so it doesn't end up, you know, in the system. Already, I think we're gonna have to take. That's not on this side, but well, it is. I guess we could take the discharge there and just put another hose on it or something, flop it out to the side, or either that, or I want to take the nozzle off, disconnect it, so that when we, you know, turn this thing on, we'll flush it as best we can, but whatever's in the inside of that volute, I don't think we're going to be able to get all of it, and I don't know how much is still in the rest of the system. So, you know, I don't want to just keep recirculating it back in the pump. We'll need to get it cleaned out. So I think the best way to do it is be turn it on, let it idle, and generally ramp it up, try to blow everything out just a big pipe. So but I'm gonna get to cleaning on this. I got my son actually working today, so he's not gonna be here to film. Just gonna be, you know, probably a bunch of before and after, you know, short videos with me yammering. So we'll be back. Okay, so on this too, after just a couple minutes of just trying to hit it with the sander, I had to get the needle scaler out and investigate a couple areas, and it's trashed. It's bad. Up around here where this seal is on this side, I mean, that register, once this comes out, I'm sure it's gonna be rotten. It might break trying to pound this out of here to get the seal replaced. Same thing with the seal, the oil seal on the other side. I mean, it's just rotten. Besides that, the split in these walls so water over some of it comes here, and then some of it goes up in another slot here. This has a little diverter in it, or a little split piece in it. I'm sure that piece is rotten. This here is nothing but rust. I imagine it gets thicker as it goes down. I don't know how thick, but here it doesn't even sound like metal anymore. Same thing on this side. I don't think this housing is going to be savable. I mean, it might move water, but I don't think there's anything that's going to save it. I think it'd always actually leak water and probably tear up seals if these weren't, you know, aligned correctly going back in. And with the damage to the seating areas, I don't think that's ever going to happen.